Parramatta hierarchy, Parramatta players, Parramatta coaches, Parramatta fans must be hating this chat. Fox Sports, James Hooper reports this. Rival NRL club weighs up first monster bid for star Eels playmaker. So the Knights intend to make a 6-year, $6 million plus play to try and lure Dylan Brown. Newcastle's football department has been discussing if the Knights should have a genuine crack at trying to prize Brown out of the Eels. There was reports in the last couple of years that maybe the Knights were up against it as far as the salary cap was concerned. But now we're reading via James Hooper and Fox Sports that Dylan Brown, who's believed to be on a deal worth around $850,000 this season, who could be upgraded to $1 million at the Eels, but the Knights talking about 6 years at $6 million or thereabouts. Brian, thoughts?
That is a lot of money. That is, and the only thing I have is the issue I had was last year when Moses was out, and Dylan Brown sort of didn't stand up. He's going to go up there to a club, and they're going to be looking at him to be the main man.
Yep.
Although they do have Kalyn, or is this life after Kalyn? Did Newcastle know something?
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's try and frame it like this. How many $1 million players a year would you guess, and I don't know the answer, how many $1 million per annum players are currently in the NRL?
In the NRL.
What's your guess?
Okay.
A dozen or so?
Yeah, I was going to say 12. I was going to say, is there one every club? But there's not one every club. I'll say 15.
Yeah, so 15-ish, almost one a club. So where does Dylan Brown you've got to be a huge difference maker.
Yeah.
Where does Dylan Brown rate in the difference makers?
When he's on, he's had some stormers.
Is he in the top 15 difference makers in the competition?
When you compare him against the guys, then you see, out of those 15, the different makers, there's a couple in there who are the front rowers. There's the Payne Hasses, who are different makers in a different sense.
Yeah.
I.e., they help other players.
They're different makers.
Different makers. That's right. They're DDs.
Yeah. Is Tino a DD? I think he's on about $1 million.
He's on a bit of $1 million. David Fafita's on $1 million.
Yes.
Is he a different maker? Yes, he is a difference maker.
Yes.
But not consistently.
But
then you get the CDs.
Well, yeah. Okay,
the consistent DMs.
Yeah.
CDMs.
Yes, that's right.
The Nathan Clearys.
Kalyn Ponga, if he's on the field. Turbo, if he's on the field. Daly Cherry Evans.
Yep.
The list goes on like that.
Nathan Clearys.
Reece Walsh?
Reece Walsh.
Yes.
But he's not a C. He hasn't got a C in front of his name.
No.
He's a DM, but he's definitely not a C.
He's not a consistent DM.
He's not a CDM.
No, that's right. There's very few CDMs.
Very few. So the argument is, do you pay more for your CDMs?
Yeah, of course you do.
Like, if you're a bona fide CDM, consistent difference maker,
yes,
you can write your own ticket.
Okay, Kalyn Ponga, and this is a courtesy of Robert Dillon from the Sydney Morning Herald. What is he?
Who?
Kalyn Ponga.
Yeah, he's a CDM.
He's a CDM.
Mate, he went on there. If you can't get more consistency than those 11 games when he won the...
Yeah, no, he's a CDM, and no problem about that when he plays. He's only played like 60... So the Knights in the last 4 years, Brian, have played 100 games. He's played 65. So it's very hard to be a CDM.
But when he's on there, what I'm saying, his body's breaking down a bit. Geez, this is a tough criteria.
Yeah.
Now you're blaming injuries. No, but he's a difference maker, but he's not consistent enough for me. He probably will get $1 million a year.
Okay. Well,
maybe he will go up there. Maybe the Knights, as I mentioned, maybe Kalyn's off somewhere else.
Well, Kalyn is going to make a difference with the Maori team because he has made himself available for the All Stars clash on February the 15th. He's previously played twice. Now, the big story here, Brian.
Yep.
And they need the star power for the All Stars because at the moment we don't have all of the stars at the All Stars. We've lost Latrell Mitchell. We've lost Josh Addo-Carter suspension and Cody Walker to injury. So it's an interesting move for Ponga because he said to Australia, no deal.
Well, okay, he said no deal because he was coming back from injury and he didn't think he owed the Knights. That was a 6-8 week sort of thing. So this is a one-off game. I think this is totally different.
Okay,
don't start jumping at shadows.
No, I'm not jumping at shadows or jumping sharks. Neither. I'm not. Sans jumping. Not doing any jumping. But I suppose the argument would be, okay, well, if he's not playing for the Māori side, he's playing for the Knights in a trial. So go and represent your people and do what you need to do. Yeah. NRL cracking down on diving. Love this. Peter Bedell and David Riccio The NRL will answer the prayers of fed-up fans by launching a crackdown on players taking dives this season, and it goes on. So Wayne Bennett was involved in this push alongside Ricky Stewart and Ivan Cleary. I really like this. And look, Matty White, he's gone the early crow. He said, as a result of this,
Yes.
expect more points and tries to be scored. Here's Matty White on SEN this morning.
The bottom line for me, expect more tries this year. Think of how many, on average, were disallowed last year because of the obstruction ruling. Now, in total, there were 225 games of NRL played last season. So if there was one try disallowed every second game because of this ruling, that's 112 more tries that would come into the bank next time around. That's another unconverted 448 points. That will take the total points scored across the season to over 10,400. The record in the NRL is 10,138 in 1998 when it was a 20-team comp.
Send him a crow hat.
Was that Dustin Hoffman? That had a lot of Rain Man about it.
It did. But anyway, send him a crow hat. I'll tell you, but he's making sense.
Put him up on the... Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what he's talking about there, when people hear the word diving, people are... I suppose the first thing that comes to mind is just going up for a tackle, pretending to get hit high, or the crusher thing.
Yeah, all that.
But Matty's thinking about when they do those plays, the block for the block. Those plays.
Yeah. And they know they can't get there,
Munster's
so they run
the king
up.
in it.
Yep.
Munster is the absolute.
Let's work to this point.
Michael at it.
I'll tell you the other thing which they've done well on, and I love this. So again, no rule change because the rule currently is to make an effort when you play the ball.
Yeah.
They're just saying do as you please. But in the event there's a try scored and we go back to the bunker and you've made no effort to play the ball, don't be surprised if you get the try ruled off you.
Is that okay?
So that kind of puts it back on the players.
Did that come? Is that been? Is that in the press now? Or is this?
Yeah, that's what's been. They're basically saying, listen, we're watching this now. Okay. I love this. So all of a sudden there's a great try, and you've spent the whole game not rolling the ball properly at all, and then there's a player there who's tried to do the old rat's ass play the ball, and it comes back, and they go, hey.
Yeah,
we told you about that.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Like that.
Are they going to go back? What if it was in your own half? You score a try from your own half.
Same thing.
You reckon they're going to go all the way back?
Well, percentage play would say in our own half, keep doing what we're doing. Yeah. So we're probably not going to score most plays, but when we get up there, you better be bloody making an effort to play the ball.
I tell you what I've noticed that's crept into the NRLW. When they first came, when the NRLW first kicked off, everything was precise. The way they tackled, technically they were sound. Yep. They were playing the ball with their feet. It's starting to creep in. They started a bit of wrestle, not playing the ball. Girls, do not watch the men. Go back and do your own thing.
What, you're still here? Well, you can see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio, you beautiful humans.